Hey, this is Michael here on NAMM Day 2, 2017. I'm sitting here with Phil Manansala. I hope I said that the right way. And we just signed Phil, and his band of Mice of Man is planning a big world tour in 2017. And he has decided to work with the TriAmp Mark 3. Hey Phil, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you for asking. Yes, I decided to drop the digital world and came to a real amp company. And I couldn't be any happier to come to Hughes Kettner.
That's fantastic. Hey, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you favor with this amp, TriAmp Mark 3, which just sent one to you. Tell us what you guys are in the studio right now, right? You in the middle of recording?
Yeah, writing and getting in that due process of starting to, dabble on some newer music. So, yes, you did just send this to me. So, the first things first about this amp, there's, 3 different types of amp modifiers and 2 different amps to each. So it's actually potentially 6. It could be the TriAmp Mach 6. I don't know. Anyway, the cleaner stuff to the heavier stuff, my go-to of the amp is channel A. You just click off one of the first 1 and 2 power tubes, and then you have the second ones on at the end. Obviously, the gain's on 1000. No, I'm just kidding. You actually dial it back a little bit. But yeah, that's usually, you keep everything pretty neutral because you don't need too much with this head. Just crank the gain a little bit, and you get to pick through what power tubes you actually want. So I think with this head, the versatility of everything going on from channel 1 to channel 6, which is 3B, it's absolutely limitless. Any sort of power tubes you want, you have to your disposal. And yeah, that's, why I switched over, because, you instead of a digital head, you got a real head that you have digital possibilities, but in real life power. So, I mean, I can't say anything else except beautiful and great things about this amp. So, be very thankful and happy to be a part of the team.
I know you told me you've been a fan of Hughes Kettner since your teenage years.
Early teenage years. Yeah, I've been fascinated by the Bluelight, I think, since 2003. I think I first saw it on stage, and I was like a little moth to the light, or a little fly, just wanting to be attracted to it. So the attraction still never left, and the fact that I'm able to play with something like that now, it's mind-blowing, because the evolution of the amp from what it was 12 to 15 years ago, it had all the bells and whistles that any amp company, had the opportunity to put in the amp, but you guys did it, and you guys tested the waters to put different power tubes in something and to switch something as a software program would do, but it's also possible as a real-life amp.
Sounds great. You've mentioned to me that you haven't been using a tube amp in a long time, right? You've been on the digital side live as well, and is in the studio. Now, if you could explain to us why now back to 100% tube, and going that route.
It's very easy, with the digital modified head, you could get any tone you want out of it. But in a studio, there's no replication of the power of that comes out of a real amp. And, for the consistency of touring, how we were, I was, under the influence that touring with a digital head would be the best head for me with the consistency of power. But, now I've realized with technology, things have grown, and so have the performances of a lot of amps. Nothing like this amp on the market. It does every single thing you could ever ask for it and more. I haven't even tested all the limits of it. So, everything that I've ever wanted out of digital, I could replicate out of this head times 10. And I haven't even touched all the, the power that this thing is capable of. So, the move for me was very easy, to be honest. just the fact that it sounds better, it sounds real, it has a better performance, it makes everything from the studio to stage better, and it's easy. It's the knobs, you know. It's exactly what I was looking for.
I think we're all excited to see you and the band live in 2017. Tell us what's ahead. What are the schedules this year? Where can we see you? Yeah, what's going on in Mach3 Man Camp?
Yeah, you know, like I said, we're in the beginning stages of writing for our newer release. You know, so that's happening, and we have the European festival run coming up. We're going to be out in Europe doing a bunch of festivals. You know. And we're excited to be back on the road. There's been a couple, you know, things we are learning how to progress further, but that's just how it is. We learn, and then you keep on moving on and focus on the future.
So you currently in writing mode in the studio. Tell us how the Redbox Out is performing for you.
It's awesome, you know, with using the original Axe FX DI, you know, we were kind of scared, like, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to DI out, you know? And then when I was looking into things like that, I noticed that your head had an actual Redbox DI out outside the back of the head. So with knowing that, I kind of was a little scared to know how the sound output would have been. But it's even better because we're using that sound output to record every single thing that we do. So it even sounds better than previous recordings. So the fact that I thought we were going to miss a step of tone, but it even outdoes its predecessor of what I was using before. So the Red Box DI is definitely a staple for us now in our studio because it blew everything else out of the water. So it's capable of everything that the amp does, and it shoots out everything it does too. So there's no loss of sound in the recordings whatsoever. Even sounds better, I believe, with the power. So.
That sounds really cool. Well, thank you so much, Phil, for coming today. This is Michael Berger. We're here with Hughes and Kettner, the 2017 NAMm show. Please find us on hughesandkettner.com and check out Of Mice and Men Live 2017.
Yes.